Welcome to ASO Television News at 3. I am Rosemary Okokotega. The headlines. President Tinubu directs EFCC to vacate court order freezing Osun government accounts. FCT Minister declares Abuja open for business, warns against land fraud. NYSC reaffirms commitment to upholding federal character principle. And business. Federal government discloses readiness to pay outstanding wage award of public servants by mid-August 2026. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to immediately approach the court to vacate an order freezing the accounts of the Osun State government. The president, in a statement issued on Thursday, expressed concern about the timing of the EFCC's action, coming just days before the Osun State governorship election. President Tinubu said while he supports the independence of law enforcement agencies to carry out their statutory responsibilities without interference, actions taken by federal institutions are often associated with the presidency, even when he had no prior knowledge of them. He said the EFCC's action could create the perception that the federal government is attempting to influence the electoral process in Osun State. The president, who said he is yet to be fully briefed on the facts that informed the FCC's decision to seek the court order, instructed the anti-graft agency to discontinue the action against the Osun State government and take steps to have the court order withdrawn. The Imole Campaign Council had earlier called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to, with immediate effect, unfreeze the account of the Osun State government account to allow for governance to continue and the people to continue to get deserving services. A statement by the Chairman, Media and Publicity Committee of the Council, Mr. Bamidele Salam, described the freezing of the state government account few days to election as brazen abuse of authority and attack on the people, accusing the FCC of going outside its mandate by interfering in the upcoming governorship election in Osun State. The council said with the action of the FCC, which it alleged was politically motivated, many essential services, including planning for some public health interventions, can no longer go on. This, it added, is very unfair to the Osun people. The statement said while the council is not opposed to accountability in governance, it registers its total rejection to political witch hunting disguised as corruption fight. The presidency has attributed the strong financial performance recorded by many companies listed on the Nigerian exchange in the first half of 2026 to the economic reforms introduced by President Bola Tinubu's administration. The president's special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement the unification of the foreign exchange market improved exchange rate transparency and enabled companies with foreign currency earnings, including Aradel Holdings and Seplat Energy, to record stronger financial results. Onanuga also said the administration's approval of major oil and gas asset acquisitions involving Seplat Energy and the Renaissance Africa Energy Consortium boosted investor confidence, expanded production capacity, and strengthened the long-term prospects of indigenous energy companies. According to the statement, the approval of Naira payments for crude oil supported local refining, with the Dangote refinery now exporting premium motor spirit, also known as petrol and aviation fuel. Manufacturing firms, he added, have also benefited from improved access to foreign exchange, leading to higher production and profitability. The presidential spokesman further attributed the improved business environment to the removal of petrol subsidy, tighter monetary policies, banking sector recapitalization, and ongoing tax reforms, which he said have strengthened macroeconomic stability and increased investor confidence. The president maintained the strong earnings posted by many NGX-listed companies reflect the impact of the administration's structural reforms, describing them as evidence that consistent economic policies are creating a more stable environment for business growth and investment. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Barrister Ezenwo Nyesom Wike, has declared Abuja open for local and international investment, assuring investors of a business-friendly environment, warning, however, that the FCT administration will not tolerate fraud, land fraud, speculative activities or illegal developments that undermine the Abuja Master Plan. Speaking through the Minister of State for the FCT, Dr. Maria Mahmood, at the opening of the Abuja Business and Investment Expo 3.0 in Abuja, Barrister Wike said the ongoing infrastructure drive under President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda is creating the foundation for sustainable economic growth. He listed investments in roads, water supply, transportation, healthcare and education as key to positioning Abuja as a leading investment destination. The minister said the FCT's 4th place ranking in the 2025 Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council's Ease of Doing Business assessment demonstrates the administration's commitment to improving governance and simplifying investment processes. He added that reforms in land administration, digital governance and revenue collection are aimed at enhancing transparency and boosting investor confidence. Barrister Wike stressed that while genuine investors would continue to enjoy government support, the administration would take decisive action against fraudulent land allocations, multiple ownership claims, and illegal developments. He also identified real estate, agriculture, tourism, healthcare, education, renewable energy, technology, and the creative industry as priority sectors for investment across Abuja, including the satellite towns. Earlier, the group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Abuja Investments Company Limited, Ambassador Maureen Tamuno, described the expo as a platform for attracting investment and fostering partnerships. She said the 3-day event themed Building Nigeria's Capital Investment as a catalyst for economic growth will feature exhibitions, investment forums, and policy dialogues designed to unlock new economic opportunities for the Federal Capital Territory. The Kuje Area Council has commenced evacuation of refuse heaps and the clearing of blocked drainages around the Kuje Township Stadium and adjoining areas as part of its commitment to ensuring a cleaner and healthier environment. Correspondent Abdullahi Mukhtar tells us more.
Speaking on behalf of the chairman of Kuje Area Council, Mr. Samuel Danjuma Shekwelo, the Director of Environmental Health, Sanitarial Gloria Akpogbu, said the exercise is in line with the chairman's directive to eliminate illegal refuse dump sites and improve environmental sanitation across the council. She explained that the Environmental Sanitation Committee has already mobilized to site, deploying trucks and a wheel loader to ensure the timely evacuation of the accumulated waste.
As a capacity chairman, you know, it's somebody that he said, Madam, this thing must be done, and you people can see it. We are doing the work today, not a casual job, a complete evacuation, not half evacuation. And the environs, they are happy now that things are happening. You know, a lot of refuse are dumped here, illegal dumping, and today we are ready to evacuate all.
Senator Akpogbu further disclosed that sanitary guards and vigilantes will be stationed at the location to enforce compliance and prevent indiscriminate dumping of refuse. She noted that the prompt commencement of the exercise demonstrates the chairman's commitment to fulfilling his campaign promises and improving environmental sanitation throughout the area council.
You know, we are going to put sanitary guard here, and we are going to distribute dustbin bin to all the houses around, so that every month we go around and pick them and evacuate. So it's not going to be business as usual. And I'm warning the Kuje people, once we see you dump illegally now, the task force will hold you.
The chairman of the Kuje Area Council Sanitation Committee, Mr. Habakpo John, said the exercise will provide residents with a cleaner and healthier environment. Also speaking, a resident of the area, Barrister Raji, commended the council's effort and urged the administration to sustain the initiative.
Well, what you are seeing here is the dividends of what we voted for just some few months ago. And I believe more is coming. This is just the beginning. We saw the greatness in Sam, and that's why we went for it.
The stadium is the eye of this local government. This stadium, even though it's not completed, it's the eye. It's the one you use in describing, this place.
The exercise forms part of the present administration's agenda to promote a cleaner environment across Kuje Area Council and its environs. Abdullahi Mukhtar, ASO Television News.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has clarified the ongoing implementation of its passport centralization reform, assuring Nigerians that passport processing and issuance remain available at all passport offices nationwide and at designated Nigerian embassies and consulates abroad. A statement by the Service Public Relations Officer, Deputy Controller of Immigration Akinlabi Akintola, says the migration of passport production to the Central Personalization Center at the service headquarters in Abuja is strictly an operational reform and will not affect access to passport services. According to the statement, the reform is part of the services modernization program aimed at strengthening the security, integrity, and efficiency of Nigeria's passport issuance system. The service explained the implementation is being carried out in 5 phases to reduce operational risks and ensure uninterrupted service delivery. 3 phases have already been completed, while phase 4 is scheduled for August 2026, and the final phase is expected to be completed before the end of the year. Under the new system, all passport booklets will be printed and personalized at the Secure Central Personalization Center in Abuja before being dispatched to passport offices across Nigeria and Nigerian missions abroad within 2 weeks. The statement adds that passport offices nationwide and designated embassies and consulates will continue to receive applications, process requests, and issue passports as usual. A team from the United Kingdom's Department for Transport has commenced a 3-day aviation security assessment at the Murtala International Airport in Lagos. The exercise, which runs from August 4 to 6, is aimed at evaluating the effectiveness of security measures at Nigeria's busiest international airport and ensuring compliance with international aviation security standards. The assessment will also examine security procedures for flights operating from Lagos to the United Kingdom with a focus on Air Peace, British Airways and Virgin Atlantic. The exercise forms part of the UK's routine oversight of airports and airlines operating services into the country and is expected to strengthen aviation security cooperation between Nigeria and the United Kingdom. This is ASO Television News at 3. Watch us live on DSTV 392, StarTimes TV 127, Free TV 547, UHF Band Channel 38. Coming up, still in the bulletin after the break, Defense Minister hails historical 80% salary increase for military personnel and other stories. Stay with us. The Minister of Defense, General Christopher Musa, retired, has applauded President Bola Tinubu for approving a landmark salary increment for personnel of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, describing the 30% to 80% pay rise as a historic reward for troops sacrificing their lives to defend the nation. The Defense Minister said in a statement on Wednesday that the new salary package, which takes effect from September 1, 2026, would directly benefit about 250,000 personnel across the Nigerian Army, Nigerian Navy, and Nigerian Air Force. Retired Major Retired General Musa said the approval demonstrates federal government's renewed commitment to improving military welfare, boosting troop morale, and strengthening the operational effectiveness of the armed forces in confronting Nigeria's security challenges. He disclosed that the new salary structure would raise the annual personnel cost of the armed forces from 660 billion naira to 924 billion naira, representing an additional 264 billion naira investment in the welfare of military personnel. The minister, who assured Nigerians that the military would respond to this gesture with renewed dedication, professionalism, and stronger commitment to protecting lives and property, also urged officers and soldiers to view the salary enhancement as a renewed call to duty, charging them to remain disciplined and continue efforts towards restoring peace and security across the country. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC has reaffirmed unwavering commitment to upholding the federal character principle in all its operations, while pledging closer collaboration with the Federal Character Commission to deepen equity, fairness, and national integration. Director General of NYSC, Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, gave the assurance during a courtesy visit to the Executive Chairman of the Federal Character Commission, Honorable Hulayat Omidiron, at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The NYSC board commended the Commission's steadfast commitment to ensuring equity in recruitment, appointments, promotions, and the distribution of personnel across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. He said the NYSC has consistently adhered to due process and government regulations in the discharge of its statutory responsibilities, earning widespread recognition for excellence in public service delivery. Executive Chairman, Federal Character Commission, Honorable Omidiran, in turn, said the commission was established to promote fairness and inclusiveness in the operations of government institutions by ensuring equitable representation of all segments of the Nigerian Federation. She urged ministries, departments, and agencies to strictly adhere to the Commission's policies and guidelines in order to sustain public confidence and prevent feelings of marginalization among citizens. Minister of Education Dr. Maruf Alausa has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to repositioning technical and vocational education and training as a key driver of industrialization, economic competitiveness, and youth empowerment with the inauguration of the governing board of the National Board for Technical Education, MBTE, in Abuja. Dr. Alausa described the inauguration as a major milestone in the implementation of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which prioritizes education and human capital development as critical pillars of national growth. He stated that the administration is shifting the nation's education system from an over-reliance on paper qualifications to producing highly skilled, innovative, and job-ready graduates capable of driving entrepreneurship, productivity, and industrial development. The minister charged the newly inaugurated board to provide strategic leadership and accelerate critical reforms, including implementation of the recognition of prior learning framework and the modernization of curricula to reflect Industry 4.0 realities. He stressed the need for stronger alignment between education and industry, fiscal discipline, accountability, and greater emphasis on practical skills that will enhance employability and national productivity. Responding on behalf of the board, Chairman of the NBTE Governing Board, Professor Babatunde Salako, thanked President Tinubu and the Minister of Education for the confidence reposed in the members. He described the inauguration as the beginning of a new chapter for technical education in Nigeria and pledged the board's full support for the federal government's TVET reform agenda. The Nigeria Institute of Management Maitama chapter has organized a career development seminar aimed at preparing final year students for the transition from academic life to the professional world. The event, themed Transitioning from the Academic World to the World of Work, brought together industry experts, academics, management professionals, and students to discuss the skills and competencies required to succeed in today's highly competitive labor market. Belumi Adeyemi has more on the story.
Addressing participants during the program, the organizers of the workshop emphasized the need for students to cultivate leadership qualities, effective communication skills, teamwork, critical thinking, and adaptability in order to meet the demands of modern workplaces. Chairman Institute of Management, Maitama Chapter, Mrs. Apollina Akudo Odia, disclosed that the initiative was designed to bridge the gap between the classroom learning and practical workplace experience, while equipping young graduates with the knowledge needed to excel in their chosen fields.
So all the knowledge you have acquired in school, what are you going to do with it? How creative are you going to be? That's what this whole workshop is about. So that clear shift from academic to the world of work, that's what we are here. We came around to now prepare their minds, that let them not think that having first class in the university guarantees that they will be successful. And we drew the attention to people who did not score very high grade, but they are leading the world. Okay, like Mark Zuckerberg. We also came down home to talk about Nigerians that set up ULESIN and Conga. So if you have entrepreneur spirit, okay, you are bound to succeed.
The speakers encouraged the students to embrace innovation, continuous learning, professionalism, and ethical conduct as they prepare to begin their careers.
I spoke on one of my favorite subjects generally in life, which is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very critical to success in every aspect of life, whether at the family level, in friendship circles, at work. You definitely need to know how to relate with other people.
Speaking to newsmen during the workshop, Vice Chancellor of Bayes University, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi, represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Osita Abu, commended the Nigerian Institute of Management commitments toward empowering students with the confidence and practical skills necessary to thrive in an ever-changing global economy.
We consider this the first start in the partnership with Nigerian Institute of Management to expose our students to what happens out there in the world of work. And that is what we have successfully done here today. And we hope that it is a partnership that will continue into the future as new sets of students come in and go. Some other new sets will also come in. So it's something that can last for quite some time to come.
Some of the students expressed appreciation to the organizers, noting that the seminar provided valuable insights into career planning, networking opportunities, and the strategies for navigating work challenges. The program also featured interactive sessions, panel discussions, and mentorship opportunities, and allowing participants to engage directly with professionals from different sectors. Team members of the Institute reiterated their commitment to creating more platforms that will prepare young Nigerians for successful and rewarding careers. Belumi Adeyemi, ASO Television News.
In fulfillment of its previous commitments, the federal government has assured public servants of its readiness to pay the outstanding wage award before the middle of August 2026, noting that the promotion arrears are being processed. Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, made the disclosure during a meeting with leadership of the Joint Public Service Negotiating Council trade side led by its national president, Comrade Kabiru Ado Mijibir. The minister affirmed the government already commenced work on many of the issues presented by the council even before receiving its formal communication, and that the administration remains committed to resolving legitimate labor concerns through constructive engagement. He further explained that necessary release for payment of the outstanding wage award is already concluded, expressing confidence that eligible public servants would begin to receive their payment before the middle of this month. The minister also assured the delegation that promotion arrears were receiving the required attention with their standing batches being processed in line with established procedures, directing officials to accelerate action on all outstanding matters requiring government intervention by reviewing all documents presented by the Council. Earlier, National President of the Council, Comrade Minjibri, commended the Minister for receiving the delegation, highlighting that timely implementation of outstanding commitments would further strengthen industrial harmony and boost workers' confidence in government's resolve to addressing their welfare. The Super Falcons of Nigeria have reached the quarter-final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON 2026 in Morocco following a 6-2 win over Egypt. The Justin Madugu-led ladies claimed victory on the heels of 3 penalty kicks awarded to Nigeria in a match. The referee pointed to the sport 4 times. Aziza Doshola started the goals rush, and she was joined by Gift Mande, Uchenna Kanu, Christy Uchebe, Captain Rashida Tajibade, and Joy Omewa. Nigeria came into the final group match needing victory to seal a calculations-free passage into the last 8 of the competition, and Oshoala put the 10 times WAFCON winners ahead on 21st minutes from a penalty kick awarded by VAR for handball in the penalty area. The 6 times Women's African Player of the Year winner scored her second goal in 2 matches. The veteran forward was, however, forced off with injury, and her replacement, Gift Monday, doubled Nigeria's advantage on the stroke of halftime. The WAFCON champions finished Group C with 6 points from the 3 matches, same as Malawi and Zambia, who defeated Malawi 2-1 in the same night. The results mean Nigeria finish as runners-up, while Malawi topped the group based on goals scored in head-to-head matches. Nigeria will face the winner of Group D, with Cameroon the likely opponent, on August 9 at the Larbi Soli Stadium in Casablanca. On a rather sad note now, the Adeosun family has announced death of Mr. Anthony Adeniyi Adeosun, husband of a former Minister of Finance to Nigeria, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, who died at 62 on August 5, 2026 in Lagos. A statement signed by Reverend C.A. Adeosun on behalf of the family indicates that Mr. Niyi was a distinguished businessman and a devoted Christian whose integrity, generosity, and steadfast faith touched the lives of all who knew him. It acknowledged that he lived a life defined by hard work, service to God, and an unwavering commitment to his family and community. According to the statement, he is survived by his wife, former Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, his cherished children and his siblings, including Mr. Adewale Adeosun, founder of Kuramo Capital, along with a host of other family members, friends, and associates who mourn his passing. May the gentle soul of Mr. Niyi rest in perfect peace in the bosom of the Lord. That's it on the bulletin. Before we go, here's a reminder of one of the stories that made headlines. The presidency says the strong financial performance recorded by many companies listed on the Nigerian exchange in the first half of 2026 is direct result of the economic reforms introduced by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Many thanks for watching. I am Rosemary Ukokotega.